Welcome to the Squared Circle Pit with your host, Rob Pasbani.
Now entering the Squared Circle Pit. This is our first international guest all the way from Japan. I'm very excited to have DDT's MAO on the show. Welcome, MAO. Thank you for joining the Squared Circle Pit.
Thank you. It's me, MAO.
I'm very excited to have you. Also, Ash is here. He's going to help translate for you just in case. So I wanted to ask, first of all, you have a great hardcore band, Dos Quatro. I just heard the new single, and I want to talk about that. So first off, how did you get into rock music?
So my mother is punks. My mother like Green Day, Ramones. Yeah, my mother like punk rock music. So when I was young, when I was kid, listen punk rock music mainly.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yes, and then I become like punk rock music.
That's cool. So your mom got you into the music. Usually, kids don't listen to the music their parents listen to, but
Yes.
how did you go from getting into rock music to underground music? When did you start listening to heavier things like hardcore?
それでパンク好きになって、中学生の時にパンクバンドやってたんですけど、その時のメンバーが、アンダーグラウンドミュージックを始めて、で彼の影響で、アンダーグラウンドミュージックにハマりました。
Right. So during his junior high school days, he actually had a punk rock band. And one of his members was into underground music. And thanks to that member, he got MAO into underground scene.
Oh, very cool. So you always wanted to be in a band?
Always.
That's awesome. And what are some of your favorite bands?
My favorite band is Terror.
Nice.
Terror, yeah, Terror. And I like beatdown hardcore. I like Germany beatdown hardcore. Nasty, my favorite.
Awesome. And do you remember your first mosh pit, when you went to the mosh pit for the first time?
When I was maybe 15 in my hometown show.
Nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about Dos Quatros. How long has this band existed, and when did you get the idea for it?
そう。もともとずっとバンドがやっぱプロレスラーになってからもやりたくて、で、昔やってたんだけど、やっぱ練習生の時はやっぱりお金ないし、忙しいし、できなくて、で、最近やっぱりお金の余裕もあって、時間もあるから、バンドまたできるなと思って、メンバーを集めてバンド始めました。
So he actually had a band back then when he was still a trainee in the DDT system. And of course, back then when he's a trainee, he didn't have time or the money to do it. But right now, he's, made a little bit enough money for himself to be able to be financially all right. And with more time on his hands, why not do it again? Because he always wanted to become a band member and a wrestler at the same time.
I was just going to say, so you didn't want to pick between wrestling and being in a band. You wanted to do both, always.
Yes, I want to do both.
Nice. And so if you were able to tour with Dos Quatros, are there any bands that you want Dos Quatros to play with? Like, who do you think would be the perfect bands for you guys to open for?
I want to join American Underground show. Not fest.
You want like a nice small show in America, like a basement.
Like a California Underground.
I love it. Do you have a favorite band with a pro wrestler in the band? Do you listen to any other bands with pro wrestlers?
Yes. Yeah, of course, God's Hate.
Oh, God's Hate. Nice.
Yeah, God's Hate. Of course, Brody King. She's my friend.
Awesome. I was going to say, I think, like you were saying, an underground show, a God's Hate and Dos Quatro show, that would be crazy.
Yes, hopefully. My dream.
How are hardcore shows in Japan compared to hardcore shows in the US? Is it kind of the same vibe? People going crazy? Is it
Yeah,
crazier?
yeah, yeah, the same.
Yeah. Were you able to see a hardcore show in the US at all? Like when you came to
Yes,
LA for WrestleMania?
yes. 3 times.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Were you shocked at how like intense everything was, or you felt right at home?
American guys are big, tough. The Japanese guys are skinny,
That's a good point.
not so strong. But American guys are big, strong. It's hardest.
Yeah, yeah. We eat more bread. I think that's what it is.
Yes.
And how would you say being a wrestler and being in a band is similar? Are there things that you find in common between the two?
まあ、どっちもクレイジーだよね。はい。
Yeah, so you're both basically crazy in your own way.
Makes sense. And
Yes.
when you came to America, you wrestled at the Circle Six Barroom Blitz shows. So these are shows. It's a wrestling show where a band is playing. There's no ring. You just wrestle around a bar. Did you find it more difficult wrestling without a ring, or was it just as fun?
ああ、それはアシさんお願いします。DDT は、ローリングショーたくさんあるので、慣れてる。
All right, so DDT has a series of shows called like street wrestling shows. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
no ring is just normal for us just like every day for
That's
us
right.
basically.
So for you, it was just Saturday. It was no big deal. And I loved when I went to the LA shows when DDT came last year, and you wrestled Yoshihiko, and I think that
Yeah.
as funny as it was, it really shows who is a good wrestler and who is not based on if you could have a good match with Yoshihiko. Would you agree? Like you have to really show how good of a wrestler you are to be able to create the illusion that you're wrestling this doll.
リック・フレアがね、ほうきと試合できるのが一流のレスラーだって言いますけど、僕はやっぱヨシヒコと試合できない人は、やっぱスキルがない人だと思います。
All right, so he says, I think back then Ric Flair said, a good wrestler can wrestle with a broom. So honestly, maybe if you can't wrestle with Yoshiko, maybe you don't like this. You lack the skill to be able to just say.
Very true. And I'm wondering, who were your wrestling heroes? Who when you were watching wrestling growing up, who were the people that you enjoyed watching?
My hero is Taka Michinoku.
Oh, very cool. And what is do you have like an earliest wrestling memory, like the first wrestling you ever saw?
一番最初のプロレスの思い出は、そうだね、新日本プロレスのテレビ中継見たときに、すごい真壁さんが血出てて、これで人は死なないのかってドキドキした。
So I think it was one of those TV shows that New Japan had on back then, and it was this image of Togi Makabe whose face was just bleeding everywhere. And I was like, wow, he's bleeding all over his face and he's still alive.
Yeah. Definitely the first time I saw blood too, I was like, "Whoa, let's go." So for yourself, what are your future goals with pro wrestling? Where do you see yourself going?
Dos Quatro American Tour and the MAO's American Tours.
So I definitely got to do a Dos Quatro show, but do you want to wrestle in America more? Is that a goal for you to wrestle more in America, or do you like wrestling in Japan?
Yeah, I wanna wrestle in US more, but I wanna stay Japan.
Mm-hmm. And do you like doing the hardcore stuff? Do you want to do more hardcore stuff? Do you like a mix of all styles? Do you have a favorite style of wrestling?
Yeah, my favorite style, yeah, hardcore, bullshit, high flying, British, or mix.
I know you mentioned terror, but like what are some bands you're listening to right now? Like what's in your rotation? What's in your playlist?
今ハマってるヘビーロテとかは何ですか？
今めっちゃ聴いてるバンドはね、今一番聴いてるのは、スナミ。
Okay,
Tsunami.
cool. Very nice.
Yeah, Tsunami. Tsunami is very good. Cool.
How often do you go to concerts? Like, what was your most memorable show that you went to?
やっぱり、
見てる側として。
東京の、ライブハウスで友達のバンドのライブはよく行きますよ。
So he usually goes with a friend to like the local live houses all over Tokyo.
The local what?
Local like the live house, like the small little like underground live houses. Yeah.
I see. So you prefer underground stuff. You don't need to go to the big concerts. you want the sweaty, smaller shows.
そう。やっぱ僕、フェスとか行ったことなくて、大きいライブ行ったことないんですよ。もうライブハウスがとにかく大好きなので、やっぱそこで友達もいっぱいできるし、あとお酒がいっぱい飲める。
So he's never really been to those like very big like festivals or concerts, but like he really likes the vibes of the small little like boxes, the live houses where you can make lots of friends and you can drink lots of beer. What more can you want?
Yeah.
だって大きいコンサートだと、お酒買いに行くまでが遠くて、それが嫌なんだよね。
So like what he really dislikes about in a big festival or concert, like the location from beer to live is very, very far. Whereas in a small place, it's just like a hand's reach.
No, totally understand. Well, we need to get MAO to America to go to a hardcore festival. So this is just hardcore bands, and the beer is very close to the stage. It's not that big, that big of a place. Whether it's This Is Hardcore Fest or the Black and Blue Bowl, I think MAO and Dos Quatros would fit right in.
はい。ぜひアメリカでライブをやるのが今の一番のモチベーションです。
Right, his current motivation and what carries him forward is performing with Dos Quatro in America. So get some people to book him there.
You're saying that is his motivation to get Dos Quatros with America. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully we're putting this out there. The promoters are watching. Your phone lines will blow up. Do you have any more plans? When can we expect more music from Dos Quatro? Are you guys recording more music?
そうですね。多分夏にEP を出したいかなって5曲ぐらい入ってる。
So maybe in the summer he might be releasing a small album with 5 tracks. So please look forward to that.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I definitely look forward to it. MAO, thank you so much for your time. I'm very excited that we got to speak. I love the band.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you guys at a hardcore festival here in America.
Yeah,
sooner than later.
hopefully. Yeah,
we need to make it happen. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. And Ash, thank you so much for taking the time to translate. I really appreciate it.
Always glad to help.
Awesome. Thank you. Any final words, MAO, for your fans?
そうですね。これを見ているプロモーターの方がいましたら、試合でもバンドでもぜひアメリカの方に私を呼んでください。
Right. So to all the promoters watching this right now, whether it's a event, a festival, a concert, or a wrestling show, please book MAO. That's what he says. MAO and Dos Quatro.
Great point. I agree. Thank you very much.
Right.